I ain't scared.
Don't say ain't, Romy.
This is awful, Mary Call. It shouldn't be done this way. You should have a proper burial.
Romy, this is a proper burial. It's just as good as any other. Maybe it's even better. This is the way he wanted it.
I don't care about that. It's awful. You're awful. You're awful. You think you know everything. You're stingy. We've got the money. There's almost $65 in the money can now. Let's take him back and tomorrow go after the undertaker and give him a proper funeral.
No, Romy. This is the way he wanted it, and this is the way it's going to be. I promised poor Luther I'd never let the undertaker get a hold of him. And besides, if we take him to the undertaker, then they'll know. Let's just get on with it.
No, I can't. I don't care what happens. I can't. I don't care if the county people come and get me. If they did, I wouldn't have to look at you anymore.
Be careful now, Romy. You're making me mad.
Good. Get mad. I want you to get mad.
Romy.
Stop staring at me. Haven't you got a place else to look?
Romy, I can't do this by myself. If I could, I would, but I can't. You gotta help me, that's all.
Shut up, dumb bird. I'll get even with everybody someday. Just you watch and see if I don't. We'll go and bury him here now. But someday we'll be back to get him. We'll be back to get him and take him to the best and biggest cemetery in the whole world. And give him the best and biggest funeral anybody ever had. Better even than the one that Napoleon Bonaparte had.
Romy, Napoleon Bonaparte didn't have a big flashy funeral. He had a simple one. He was buried in a valley next to a stream he loved by some willow trees.
You're so smart. You think you know everything.
Well, we're burying Roy Luther right here, where he wanted to be buried. Romy, you saw how when we came here he had it all picked out, didn't you? Didn't you? You saw how he dug it out himself and lined it with those old planks, didn't you?
Yeah.
Romy, this is where he wanted to be. You know that.
Yeah, I saw. I know.
You bawling?
No.
There isn't anything to bawl about, is there?
No.
Let's get done with it.
No, wait. I want us each to say some good things now. The things we remember in our heart about our father. He was gaysome sometimes before he took sick. And when the notion struck him, he could be tough as whit leather. He loved us all fair, though he never said so. He never whipped us, and I was proud to have him for my daddy. And now I hope we'll be peaceful here.
He will. He will.
It's your turn now.
That's a mighty fine saying, Romy. I don't think I can think of anything more to say about Roy Luther. The Lord is your shepherd now, Roy Luther. Be happy with him and don't worry about us.
Amen.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, Roy Luther. I'm scared. But I'm tough, too. Listen, you just hear now? I'm Mary Call Luther, and I'm tough. Well, I'm so tough that if a bear came out of that saddle mountain over there, I could knock him flat without breathing hard. That's all. If anything, if anybody's got anything better to say about this and all the other things left to me, just let them come down here and tell me about it. But I don't hear anybody saying anything. Any eggs. How many times do I have to tell you that?
He hates me. He don't ever give us anything for all we do for him.
Come on in, Imardine. Mary Call's got something to tell us all. We'll get the eggs one of these days.
Not from that rooster, she won't.
I know that. You know that. But Imardine don't. Don't be so hard on her, Mary Call.
I've got to to be. To the point. Romy, are you coming in here?
Fuck it, Weeks. I'm trying to fix it.
Stop fussing with that door, Neil.
Lord Luther's waiting for his breakfast, Mary Cole, and I aim to give it to him.
Roy Luther's not coming to breakfast this morning. Or anymore. Roy Luther's dead. Gone. And we buried him last night. Wait, let me finish. We buried him up on old Sugar Boy where he wanted to be buried, with his own grave all dug out deep and fine.
Ain't he to have no funeral?
No.
He ain't going to be here no more.
No. Well, he's not going to be sick anymore either. Not queasy and suffering. That's better than what he had here. So it's all over now. And we got to go on. We got to go on like nothing ever happened. Do you understand?
Why?
Here, Amadine. Give you some sugar.
Now you got to listen to me. We had to do it. And by night, so no one would know.
Why?
Because if anyone finds out, then they'll come and take us away.
Why?
Oh, honest, Devola, you don't see things standing on your foot. If anybody finds out that Roy Luther's gone, well, they'll come and get us, and we'll all be orphans.
Why?
Because when your mom and pa are dead, you're orphans. And none of us is old enough to take the burden of this house and keeping the family together. Well, that's what the county thinks. And they'll make us give up this house and this land and go into town and be orphans.
Well, what are we gonna do? We can't stop being orphans.
Well, we're not going on the county. Roy Luther didn't want that for us. He worked hard his whole life to keep us off the county, and we're not going on the county now.
Kaiser Peace still wants to marry me, Mary Cole. His house is so big and nice. I wish to marry Kaiser. We could all live in his house. He has hot water all the time. I just love hot water.
Well, you're not marrying Kaiser Peace. That's the last thing I promised Roy Luther. That I would never let you marry Kaiser Peace. So just forget about the hot water in his kitchen sink.
Well, what are we gonna do when he comes home for the rent?
I don't know. I think it's something. You just leave the talking to me. Do you understand, Amadine? You're not to tell anyone that Roy Luther's dead. You're sick. Too sick to talk to anybody. And I'll take care of the rest.
But how are we going to pay the rent? We can't work the land alone.
Well, yes, we can. Since Roy Luther's been sick, we've been doing it all ourselves anyway. And if we owned the land and it was ours...
If wishes were horses, beggars would ride, Pa said.
Well, things is going to happen. And we're going to get along. And we're going to keep this all a secret. See that door there? No one's going to go behind it except for me. Not you, Romy, not you, Devola, and not you, Amadine. We're not going on the county. This is the only way I know for now to keep us from it.
If I was to marry Kaiser Peace, Kaiser would forget about money we owed him for the land and give it to us.
Devola, Roy Luther already earned this land 20 times or more over. And Kaiser might just as well give us this house. It's fallen down. No one else would have it. But the old cheat won't.
You don't like Kaiser, do you, Mary Cole?
No.
Well, why?
Because he's ignorant. Nobody but an ignorant person would have a witch's keyhole in their chimney to keep the witches out. And he's a greedy old gut. Better than anyone else in the world would come here and sharecrop for him the way Roy Luther did. Kaiser getting the hog share and us having to settle for the meanest.
I wish you wouldn't be so mad at everybody all the time. Makes you ugly. Kaiser's lonesome. He told me how lonesome he was.
Yeah? Well, it's his own fault he hasn't gotten buddy. I heard him brag about how he ran all his kin on years ago.
Well, if I was to marry him.
Stop talking that way, Devola. You're not marrying Kaiser Peace.
It would solve us a big problem, the house and the land.
Now, don't you start too, Romy. Now, I've only got one thing to say, and that'll be the end of it.
That's a relief.
Now, listen, all of you. We hit a hard time, but we're not bending. I promised Roy Luther we're not bending. 3 things I promised him. 1, I'm always to take pride in having the name of Luther, and you should too. And 2, I'm to keep the family together and never take charity from anybody. And 3,
I know. Kaiser Peace. No need to hear it.
I'm to keep Devola from marrying Kaiser Peace. I'm him to be good and kind to her. Romy, we're Luther worried about Devola. How she is. Not quick, cloudy-headed, you know that.
Yeah, she's forgetful, but that don't mean nothing.
It's not just that. And we gotta protect her. She's just slow. How come she can't read and write? She's 18.
I suppose so. But she sure does make good berry cobbler and corn muffins.
Yeah, but that's different. Now listen, Romy, you gotta help me. You gotta help me keep all my promises to Roy Luther.
I suppose so. But we still got problems.
But I got ideas. Last night I couldn't fall asleep for thinking about my ideas.
Ideas about what?
About how we're gonna make it. See out there in the yard, Devola's skirting around for some lobelia. And she's found some too. She's bringing it in.
She always does that. She saves it for when we get sick in the winter. Ma taught her, you know that.
I got an idea hiding inside my mind, Romy, and last night it all came out. I saw in my mind how our ma, Cosby Luther, went out into the woods wildcrafting, knowing the leaves and the barks and roots, and then taking them and selling them to Mr. Connell.
And he sells them to drug companies.
And I got out of bed and I found Cosby Luther's book.
What do you suppose she's finding in there, Romy?
It's her idea, Devola. Her idea hiding in her mind.
I hope she finds it.
She will.
Here it is, a guide to wildcrafting. See here? All about ginseng and mayapple and golden seal and quinine.
I know ginseng, mayapple. Mom taught me. And I know how to make a poultice, too. And there are the pictures. Look at that.
So I think what we should do is take them and sell them to Mr. Connell. And then he sells them to drug companies.
That's your idea, Mary Cole?
That's my idea. Wild gold. Wild gold. We'll work 90 days.
Wild gold for me, too?
For all of us. No, we're stopping for today, and we'll be home soon, and you can use what you always use, the house in the back.
But Mary Cole, Kaiser's house is so big and nice, and he wouldn't mind. It's just a wonder how all the things in his privy are so shiny and the water runs hot and cold.
Well, we're not asking Kaiser Peace for the use of his privy, even if it is inside.
Well, I'm pushed, and I ain't moving. Sure thirsty.
Kaiser has a real icebox, Romy. It's electric and it stays cold all the time. And he makes ice cubes so that we can have a cold drink of water. What a mess. I was to marry Kaiser, I'd keep this nice house real clean. Look.
Look here, Mary Cole. Look here, it's Kaiser. He's dead.
Dead? How do you know dead? He's not dead, but he sure is sick.
You didn't even know we're here. He's that sick.
He's shivering. It's so damp and chilly out here. Come on, let's get him on the porch. He sure is sick.
Maybe a snake bit him. He's still got the fangs in him. You think we ought to check?
No.
What then?
I don't know. I'm thinking about something.
He's breathing kind of funny.
He's breathing like Grandpa Luther did before he took sick. Maybe he's got pneumonia like Grandpa and fixing to die. You think we ought to check?
I don't know. I'm still thinking.
Can't hear a word we're saying, can he?
Mm-mm. I don't think he can.
What are you thinking about?
He'll do it. He's got to do it. If I tell him he's got to. Oh,
What are you talking about?
Romy, you said you went down to Kaiser Pete's basement. Do you remember seeing any onions down there?
No, I wasn't looking for onions. I was looking for hands.
Well, we're going to pull him out of this far enough just so he can understand what I'm talking about, and then I'll tell him.
What's Mary Cole talking about, Romy? She's looking strange.
I don't know. This isn't making sense to me.
We'll need onions, lots of onions. You and Devola go down to the basement and get onions, all you can find.
Red ones?
Yes, red ones.
Or white ones?
White ones are all right.
Or yellow ones.
Yes, yellow ones, red ones, white ones, yellow ones, all you can find. Just get heaps of onions.
We need a basket.
Well, yes, here. Amadine, you go down there with them and bring up heaps of onions. All you can find. I just remember once when Pa was sick.
Oh, no, not that.
Oh, yes. Here, we'll need this bucket here. Just go down there and find onions, all you can find. Good, that's good. Just put the onions here. Romy, you go out in that fancy brick hole out there and make us a fire and we'll fry the onions. Debola, go into Kaiser's kitchen and get us some knives. Now, we'll start peeling.
I can carry more onions.
Oh, no, that's fine, Amadine. I think we have enough. Now, don't you go touching that knife. Here, Debola, you peel and cut. Amadine, you can carry them out to Romy for the frying.
Are we gonna give Kaiser the onion bath like Ma gave Pa?
Yes, we're gonna save his life just a little.
I can hardly see to peel the onions.
Oh, me neither. We gotta go on. We're gonna have to do it right here. We can't move that hulk much further.
Are we gonna do it with this underwear off or on?
On. Now, come on. Here, we'll need this old tub. Help me get him into this tub.
Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm gonna die.
You're not dying. You're too mean to die, Kaiser Peace.
Sister, I'm a dying. Sister, I knowed you'd come. I knowed it. Bygones is bygones. I knowed you'd come.
He thinks I'm his sister.
That's Sister Goldie. He packed a lot of things off on her. Lots of things.
I ain't mean to. I'm repenting now. Bygones is bygones.
Bygones is bygones. I hear you, Kaiser.
I see the devil eyes is shining. I hear them devil voices a screeching. Make 'em stop, sister.
Oh, you see them all right.
Oh, Lordy, I'm dying. I don't deserve to. I ain't never done nothing wrong to nobody.
You never did anything right to anybody, Kaiser. We aren't gonna wait. We aren't gonna let you die.
Oh, sick.
Kaiser, do you know what would happen if we went away and left you?
Oh, I'd die?
But we don't want to go away and leave you.
No, don't go. Don't leave me.
But
Sick.
the only thing is, I can't think of any good reasons why we should stay. Can you?
Stay. I'll pay you.
With what?
I'll pay you money.
How much?
$5 maybe?
$5? Ooh, I don't want $5.
Don't want $5.
I'll tell you what I want.
Oh, don't leave me. I'm sick.
I want the house we live in.
Oh, how sick.
And the land poor Luther worked for you for years.
Sick. The house, the land.
Free and clear, Kaiser. Free and clear.
Free and clear. Just don't leave me.
And I want you to sign a paper that says so.
A paper?
Yes, this one. I've got it all written out for you, short and simple.
Let's see. Paper, sign.
That's right. That's right, Kaiser. We don't want $5. We want what's ours. Now you just sit here all steamed up. Think the fever's broke. You're gonna be fine, and so are we.
What's it mean?
It means we're free. We're landowners. We own our own house and our own land. And no one can step foot on it unless we want them to.
Not even Kaiser?
Not even Kaiser.
He might go back on his word, what the paper says, Mary Call.
No, he won't. I won't let him.
Sure a strange feeling. Free. We own the land.
And the house, too. You hear that, Devola? You hear that, Amadine? We're landowners. We're free. And come spring, we'll build a barn. With the wildcrafting money, we'll build a barn.
I'm hungry. Ain't we going to any of Kaiser P's hands?
Isn't he, Amadine?
Isn't we going to any hands?
Well, I guess we earned a little something for our work. Now wait, Jerome. We're not just taking. That would be stealing. I'm gonna write Kaiser Peace, and I owe you. I owe you 4 chickens, a ham, 2 pounds of frozen butter, 2 quarts of honey, a peck of red yams, and onions. Lots of onions. Red ones, yellow ones, and white ones.
Youngsters bright and early on a Monday morning. First customers of the day.
We've been up walking for a couple of hours. We got a lot of work to do.
And things to buy.
Yeah. Oh, school. We need some things for school.
That's right. School's starting soon. That's a fall. And it's winter. Say, I heard your daddy's on the go now, Mary.
Oh, yes, but well, we're taking care of him. Oh, here, I bought you some witch hazel leaves for the botanist.
All right. What's wrong with your daddy?
Oh, he just took a bad spill on our front porch. Didn't break anything, though. Thank goodness. But he'll be all right again in a few days.
That's good.
Well, if it ain't Mary Call Luther, Roy Luther's child. And the little ones.
I'm not little, man.
Little enough, boy. I hear you say your pa's poorly, Mary Cole.
Yes, but not. He'll be well soon.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's not so bad as we've been told. It would be just terrible for you children if something happened to your pa.
Yes, but we can handle it.
Oh, well, is he able to eat?
Oh, yes, he eats like a horse.
Oh, the little one. When I was little, both my parents died within a week of each other. I was sent north to live with my aunt. I didn't have an easy time of it. It's terrible to be orphaned.
Yes, ma'am.
My aunt was old and cranky. When I did something she thought was bad, she'd force me to swallow a teaspoonful of raw quinine and send me to bed without my supper.
She must have been a mean old lady. If I hadn't been you, I would have run away. I'm glad we haven't got any kin. I'd kill anybody who tried to make me take raw quinine. But that ain't ever gonna happen. If anything was ever to happen to Roy Luther, it's not gonna happen. But if anything was ever to happen to Roy Luther, we'd just go on living the way we're living. Maybe even better. We get it all figured out just how, too.
Hush, Romy.
As for Roy Luther, that's for God to decide. But you children are just foolish to be thinking you can stay together if something happens to your pa. You couldn't. They have institutions for people like you. I always did tell Roy Luther to lower his pride and accept some outside help. But this may be around the corner just now, whether we like it or not.
No, it's not.
Oh, now, Mary Call, I know your pa's far worse off than you're making him out to be. Why, just the other week, Kaiser Pease was in here. Told us he couldn't even get in the room to see him. He said he was so sick.
Well, you got a mighty good basket of leaves here, Mary Cole.
Thank you.
Good quality, and the botanists in town will be glad to see them.
You're gonna be stealing more than just leaves from us pretty soon, Mr. Connell. We're wildcrafting now.
Oh, you ain't. Is that right? You want to turn wildcrafting, Mary Cole? Sure enough?
Yes, sir, sure enough. Oh, and I need a price list, and I also need to know, should we look for everything or just some things?
Look for everything. Right now it's time for leaves, boneset, deer tongue, catnip, wintergreen, and, oh, of course, witch hazel. Come fall, you can go out and dig for your roots. Bark you can go after any time. Well, look here, see this? Ginseng's bringing $30 a pound right now.
$30. Mary Cole, $30.
Yeah, they need their old Joshua North Sugar Boy. He's the one been prospected for years. Your mom was the last one to do it. Folks around here have never done nothing, just piddle-diddle with grafting. You got a book, Mary Cole?
Oh, yes, it's the one our ma had.
Oh, fine. If you didn't have a book, I was gonna lend you mine. Oh, where are you planning to start?
We're thinking about going up to Sugar Boy.
You children be careful now. Keep your eyes peeled and don't go sucking any roots. Some of them is deadly poison.
Okay.
And watch out for snakes. You children have enough troubles.
If any snakes tried to bother me, I kick them when they're behind.
Oh, you will, huh? Good boy, Romy. Say, before you go, let's see what we have in here. Oh, yeah, Miss Connell and me have been meaning to drive out and pay Roy Luther a visit, but we'll just send them these along for now. We stop with your other things.
Peaches, thanks so much, Mr. Connell.
And Mrs. Connell, you make sure that Roy Luther gets some. He deserves a treat. And tell him we'll be along for a visit one of these evenings.
Oh, I would, but he's really too poorly to visit in the evening.
We'll be along so you can tell him that.
Plus, he's not really feeling up to visitors. You know how it is when you're sick.
Oh, I know how it is when I'm sick. I just want people to leave me alone, you know? Well, let's see what we got here. Got baking powder, 5 pounds of sugar, cornmeal, let's see, a couple spools of thread, slab pork. Oh, didn't you say Romy's gonna get him some shoes?
Yeah. What do you think, Mary Cole?
They look all right. How do they feel?
All right, I guess.
You better be sure. You'll have to wear them all winter long.
I'm sure.
Dean, don't be eyeing those candies. Besides, when we get back, the bowl can make you some sugar bars.
I wasn't eyeing.
How's about we just put a few of these candies in here for Amadine? Make you walk back a lot shorter.
Thank you, Mr. Connell.
You're welcome, hon. Well, that's it then. You come back now and bring me your roots and your leaves, and I'll give you the best prices.
Thank you.
You gonna wear them shoes, Romy?
No, we're saving them for school, for winter.
No, sir.
School comes soon enough. Soon enough after this good summer. Well, y'all be careful on those sugar boy now.
We will. And thank you. Say thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
Give him over to Roy Luther here and tell him we'll be back.
I will.
What are we gonna do now?
Hush, Romy.
What are we gonna do now?
About what?
About Roy Luther and everything.
What about him?
When Mrs. Connell comes, she's gonna want to snoop around.
Well, she'll have to snoop past me.
What about school?
What about it?
We have to go?
Sure.
Will it be dangerous?
It might be for you if you don't get better grades in arithmetic than you did last year.
That's not what I meant. I meant about leaving DePaul and Amadine home alone all day. What if somebody comes calling for Roy Luther and they forget and tell? What do we do then?
I don't know. I have to think of something.
We really gotta go to school, huh?
Yes, we have to go to school. You don't want to grow up ignorant, do you, and have people call you a happy pappy?
It's Happy Pappy.
A happy pappy is a poor, no-account mountaineer who does nothing but sit on the porch of his shotgun shack all day long, waiting for the mailman to bring him his charity check. He's so ignorant, that's all he knows how to do. He hasn't got sense enough to know he's not supposed to marry his first cousin and have feeble-minded children, born blind, deaf, and Lord only knows what else.
What's a shotgun shack?
A shotgun shack is a shack you can shoot a shotgun through and not hit anything.
I don't see how anybody could be happy being a Happy Pappy, having to live with his first cousin, a bunch of feeble-minded kids.
Romy, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Happy pappies aren't happy. They're useless and lonely and sick. They just look happy to the people who drive by and see them rocking and grinning.
How do you know all this?
I read it in a magazine. Miss Breathitt gave me a magazine and I read it. She knows a lot of things and I know a lot of things from her.
Oh. Mary Cole,
Yes?
there's something I've been thinking about a long time. About these mountains. How old are they, do you know?
How old are the Great Smoky Mountains? I don't know. 100 years? 2 maybe? I don't know, and I'm ashamed to admit it. It's not right for me not to know this, and not you neither. I need to correct my ignorance, and so do you. I need so many things.
It's all right, Mary Cole. Don't fret yourself about it. I'll find out sometime. Miss Breathitt, she'll know. And then I'll learn we'll both know. A Happy Pappy, huh? You never catch me being one.
Signs of peace. What are you doing here?
About time. I come to see your daddy.
He's sick in bed.
I told him, Mary Cole. I said you said no one was to set foot in his house to see him. I told him.
I come to see your daddy. Where you's been?
We've been over at Mr. Connell's store and got us some sugar balls.
Did you get the cornmeal, Mary Cole?
And the pork slab and the pinto beans.
And Romy got new shoes for school.
We got everything we set out to get and a little more.
Mary Call, come to see your daddy.
I told you, he's sick in bed.
I told you, Mary Call. Come to see your daddy.
I'm glad you rode over, Kaiser. I've got a little something I need to talk over with you.
Mary Call, I pity the man yin's married. You know there ain't never been a time I come over here when you ain't got something to talk to me about. Most times I enjoy it. And you know, I understand that it don't pay me none. But this morning I sure ain't got the time. I come to speak to Roy Luther.
Well, you're not bothering him because he's too sick to be disturbed.
Anyone feeling supportive ought to see the doctor.
Well, if I could, I'd have him to the doctor. But he'd never stand for it. It'd just make things worse.
I wish I knew how to advise you, Mary Call. I wish I did, but I don't. The only thing maybe I could think of is you could stay here for a while. Less waste till spring. I wouldn't charge you nothing. But of course, having a roof over your heads ain't gonna settle everything. I don't suppose Roy Luther's got any money saved.
No, he hasn't.
Well, that's too bad. I think a man should lay a little for a rainy day. I sure wish I knew how to advise you, Mary Call.
We're gonna do fine, Kaiser Peas.
Another thing that I thought was maybe you could go on the county. Let the county people help you until something else comes along. Yeah, you could do that.
We ain't going on the county.
Don't say ain't, Romy. We're not going on the county.
Well,
No, not the Luthers.
You say that. I know a fella up in Pumpkin Hollow gets $90 a month from the county people. Said it wasn't much of a job talking him into it. If I was you, Mary Call, I'd study into it. You're gonna have to help from somebody.
We're not going on the county, that's for sure.
Never mind, Romy. I got something to say to Kaiser Peace that'll set it clear.
Well, I best be going, Mary Call. Tell me what you aim to do.
I can tell you right now what I aim to do. I've known ever since Devola and Romy and Amadine and I saved your life what I aim to do.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. But just so as you'll get it clear, I aim for me and my family to stay here in this house you gave us. And then come spring, we'll work the land you gave us and we'll be our own people and not look to you for anything. And don't you go looking to us for anything either. And that's the way it's gonna be.
I gave you this land? Says who?
You signed a paper, Kaiser.
It's true, Kaiser. You signed the paper.
Yeah, you can't go back on your word now.
What are you talking about?
You want to see the paper?
Yeah.
If I show it to you, can I have your word you won't rip it up?
Let me see the paper. Mary Call, the price of freedom comes mighty dear sometimes. You just remember that.
What do you mean by that?
What freedom? Any freedom? All freedom? He didn't know what he was talking about. He just said that.
Well, I know we're free, but I don't know what it means we're supposed to do.
Well, we're doing plenty. Wow, cracking. You heard what Mr. Connell said. He'll sell whatever we bring. It's all right here in this book. See here? Here's Foxglove. You've seen that over the hill.
I've seen more than that, Mary Call. I once seen a red fox prancing around with red gloves on. Honest, real red gloves. Just dancing, pretty as you'd ever see.
That's why they call it foxglove, Amadine. Mama told me that. What's this?
That's ginseng. We just read what that was. Can't you remember anything, Devola? We're done with ginseng. We're done with foxglove. Now we're on ginseng. Now when we're out in the fields, this is what we should look for the hardest, because it brings the most money. $30 a pound.
Mr. Connell said so.
It grows in the shade, mostly under hickory and beech and maple trees.
A good root of this comes in the shape of a man.
What man?
Any man.
It is used in face creams and tonics and is a cure for numerous ailments.
And it produces the powerful drug,
Powerful drug podophyllin. Here's lobelia herb, from which is made a medical tincture used in the treatment of asthma and bronchitis. And Queen's Delight and Stargrass root, these are all paying herbs, and this is what we're going to do. And now we're free to do it.
We'll be rich. Mary Call, can I get a car when we're rich?
Are we gonna be rich? And I'm gonna buy you a yellow dress with shoes to match. Just from picking roots like Mama did?
Well, maybe, but we gotta work.
I work hard day and night.
Yeah, but first we gotta go to school.
We won't have time.
Yes, we will. Devola and I, Medine, can go out in the mornings while we're at school, and then in the afternoons we'll all go up to old Joshua or Sugar Boy and put in a couple hours. But first we gotta go to school.
Well, Gaither Graybill, is that you? You've grown a foot. A nice tall man, and fine looking too. Alma, it's good to see you. Did you have a nice summer?
Yes, Miss Breathitt, real nice.
Yes, Miss Breathitt. Our Pa bought a car, and I'm going to learn how to drive soon.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. Well, Lacey Ardwell, welcome back to school. I see you brought your sister.
Yes, and this is Mandy Jane. She's 7 and Ma says she should be starting school. She's real bright and can even read the newspaper a little.
Is that right? Well, hello, Mandy Jane. Welcome to school. I want to hear you read later. Why don't you take your seat and we'll get to that in a little while. Good morning, Mary Lou and Pearl.
Hello, Miss Breathitt.
Good morning. How are you ladies?
Hi, Miss Breathitt. Fine. Morning, Miss Breathitt.
Good morning, Miss Breathitt. We're back.
Well, Mary Call Luther, so you are. And Romy. It's good to see you. How's poor Luther, Mary Call?
Oh, he's fine. Just probably better than he's ever been.
Oh, that's fine. Just fine.
Mary Call, come on over here next to me. I've been waiting to see you, and so's Gaither. Hi, Alma.
Hi, Gaither. You look real fine. It seems like just the other day we were right here.
And now we're back in school friends again.
It's good to be back.
Oh, you guys just made it.
Sorry, we're late, Miss Breathitt.
Class, may I have your attention? We'll have to spend some time in registration this first day. I put your tablets under your chairs. Why don't you guys can talk amongst yourselves quietly while I get the registering, and then we'll get to introductions a little later.
Hi, Mary Call. We never did get over to Trail Valley like we said we were this summer. Things are going to be different,
Our Pa got a car.
and I'm going to learn how to drive soon.
That's nice. You have a car?
Can you come home with us? Stop on the way today? You and Romy, I mean, of course.
Our Pa will drive you over later.
Ma says you should come. Daddy's just started fresh cooking up the molasses mill, and it's all foamy sweet.
Well, that sounds just fine, but we don't have time.
Is your Pa sick again, Mary Call?
Yes, very. And we got to get home right away.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. I'll tell my daddy. Maybe we can all come over later and pay you a visit.
Well, that's nice if you wanted to visit, but poor Luther's just not up to feeling up to visiting people. Well, maybe later.
Yeah, maybe later.
Well, I've got to get registered. Morning, Miss Breathitt.
Good morning again. I heard you talking about your Pa. I'll give you my best.
I will.
Now let's see. Mary Call Luther, Romy Luther. Romy, where's Romy?
Here I am, Miss Breathitt.
Yes, and you've grown too. Happens every summer. You're just not the same people.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Miss Breathitt, will it be possible for me to work cleaning up the lunchroom again this year for my meals? Well, and Romy's big enough too. Do you think there'll be a place for us?
I think we can arrange that. You're a good worker, Mary Call.
Thank you.
Now let's see. Your address is the same, and I guess the rest of your information is the same. Will you check it? That looks right. Oh, fine, just fine.
Oh, another thing, Miss Breathitt. I was wondering, could you tell me how old are the Great Smoky Mountains?
How old are the Great Smoky Mountains?
Yes. Well, Romy asked me, and I didn't know, and I sure would like to. It's kind of embarrassing to live right on top of something and not know a thing about it.
Yes, I understand. Well, let me see. Let me see if I can remember some of my geology. If I remember correctly, the Great Smoky Mountains were raised towards the end of the Paleozoic era, probably prior to the Cambrian time, which is the oldest period in the Paleozoic era.
Well, how long ago was that?
Oh my, Geologists differ in their speculations, but many authorities in this field believe that these mountains were in existence prior to the Precambrian. Directly from this, I guess they occurred some 2,500,000,000 years ago.
Wow, that's old.
Somewhere in all of this, I have a book on mountains. Here it is. Would you like to borrow it, Mary Paul?
Oh, I sure would. I'll take good care of it. I aim to buy some home books pretty soon.
Wonderful.
We're wildcrafting now. I didn't tell you that, did I?
No, wonderful.
Roby and DeVola and Amadine.
Well, Luther should be proud.
He is. He is.
Well, that's the final one. Now you have some time to visit with your friends before class. It's good for friends to be together again. I just love to see this happen every year.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, Romy, I gotta talk to you for a second.
I'm going over to talk to Chet Tucker.
Romy, I got something I need to tell you. Now listen, Romy. We can't go visit the Gratons after school today.
Why not? They're the best friends we got, Almonds Gaither. And Mr. Greenville's a longtime friend of Roy Luther.
I know.
Besides that, now that Gaither's taller than you, are you sweeter than ever, are you? You don't find him so ugly, I can tell.
He's handsome, all right, but listen, Romy, things are different. If we go visiting the Grables, then they'll come visiting us.
Well, what's wrong with that? Mr. Grayville's got a car, and they can come anytime they want.
Romy Luther, you're dead. How are we ever going to keep our secret about Roy Luther being dead? We can't have friends like normal people. At least not now.
I guess I see. I see, all right.
All right, class. With school business. Busyness. That's what I like to call this list making. Busyness. Out of the way and spend what's left of the morning getting acquainted.
Is there someone new as Breathitt?
No. Well, yes, in a way. It's been 3 months, so in a way, you're all different. And so am I.
I'm the same, I think.
Oh, no, you're not. What happened to your cow lick?
Grew out, I guess.
See, you are different. It's not just the outside, but that's a good place to start. Suppose we open class with a discussion of what we see that's different in each of us.
Samuel Lee's cow lick's gone.
Yes?
Gaither's grown a foot. Not a foot, just a lot.
Almost curled her hair.
It's natural to be different, though.
Mary Call's different.
Now,
Taller. Quieter.
maybe I don't have anything to say yet.
Now let's spend some time thinking about other changes in ourselves. How we're different. Different ways that we can't see. Why don't you take out your copybooks and do some quiet thinking? And then those of you who want to share may do so. You may write in your tablets if you wish. Their thoughts on the topic. You may use your notes.
I have some ideas.
Fine. Would you like to stand up?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm 3 months old when I was let out of school in June. In that time, I've grown a little taller. But this summer, I went to visit my cousin in Greensboro, where the university is. There was a man next door to her who was from Paris, France. He was born there. At first, I couldn't understand him. I thought he talked funny. Once, when he was visiting my uncle, I heard him say he couldn't understand us. He thought we talked funny. I think it's very interesting to see how different people are and how different I am. I think it's very interesting. Someday, I'd like to visit Paris. That's very perceptive, Hannah Jo. Sounds like you had an interesting summer.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, Chester.
Most of all, I'm different because I'm older. I know I'm different because Mom and Pa act like I'm different. I don't get treated like my little brother. And Pa's always saying to watch me now and learn this. At first it was a lot of bother, but this summer I've learned a lot. And I like being different from my brothers and sisters. It isn't that easy. That's what I think of Miss Breathitt.
I think you expressed yourself very well. Next, Mary Call.
This summer, I met a traveler, and he said something that changed my thinking. I remember he came across the mountains, he said, and just wandered into Trail Valley. He came to our door and asked for refreshment. My sister Debola brought him a pail of water from our spring pure, and so cold it made him clench his teeth. We asked him where he had been. He pointed first to Sugar Boy and then to old Joshua. Up there, he told us. We asked him what for, and then he said something that I'll never forget. He said, for the memory. My sister Debola thought it was a funny answer, but I didn't. I wanted to know, so I asked him, why did you say you had been out to Sugar Boy and old Joshua for the memory? That wasn't a real answer, was it? He said it was. And then he said something like this. At noon, I leaned back against a cloud and ate my lunch. And afterward, coming down the slopes, saw a lake of blue flowers, and then a long, wide scarf of deep maroon ones. This is a fair land, the fairest I have ever seen, the land where the lilies bloom. That's what he said, and I remember it. I never saw the traveler again, but I never forgot what he said. But this is a fair land, the fairest of them all.
Very good. Miss Brother? Yes, Romy, do you have something to add?
Yes, it's true. And now we're wildcrafting like our mom.
Wonderful. Suppose you and Mary Call prepare a special report for the class. The business of wildcrafting. It's one of the oldest crafts in these mountains.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll get to that next week. This has been a good sharing time, and quite long enough for the first day. No homework until Monday, so put your tablets under your chairs. You may go now, unless you have any questions. See you Monday. Sammy Lee, I will see you out in the hall.
You sure did speak an awful lot about that traveler, Mary Call.
Thank you. He was an interesting man, just stopping by like that.
You going through town? I'm going that way. Maybe we could go along together and talk. You could tell me about wildcrafting.
Well, I sure would like that, Gaither, but we got to get home right away. Roy Luther's really sick, and Romy and I don't think we can leave him for too long.
Sad about your pa. Maybe he's going to get better soon.
Yeah, but that would be just fine. Just fine. I'd like it a lot to walk through the town with you and tell you all about wildcrafting. It's really interesting. Well, bye.
Bye.
Mary Call, are you ready? If we're not stopping, we might as well go.
Yes, but we're not stopping. Don't forget what I told you. It won't make any difference how sour you twist your face. Anyway, we got a lot of work to do. Now that winter's coming and we own our own house and land, we got to make sure we're ready for it. We can't ask help from anybody.
Can't we ask Kaiser?
No.
A cow would help a lot.
Yes, a lot.
And a pig would be nice. Just one. We could get him fatter and bigger and eat him.
Yes.
Mary Call, you think about something?
Yes. How to get shed of Kaiser peas. I've been thinking I might tell him I want to marry him. That might do it. If I told him that all of a sudden it had just come to me that I was madly in love with him, that just might do it. Well, he thinks I'm the meanest, ugliest little twerp that ever lived. I think I would clear my love for him today.
Kaiser Peace marry you?
Yes. Well, if you were him and I came bleating and panting around you and told you it had just come to me that I was madly in love with you, what would you do?
Would you look like you look now?
Sure. Maybe even worse.
Then I'd run.
A.D., Mary Call.
Well, I'm as pert as a cricket, Kaiser.
Daddy around?
He is, but I'm not allowing him to have any visitors.
Now, Mary Call. I come to see your daddy. You'll let me see him or not?
Now listen, Roy Luther, he's not here and I'm not allowing him to have any visitors. Now, I know you don't like it having to deal with me, but you might as well get used to it. I'm Roy Luther's spokesman now. I'm head of the Luther family. I'm making all the decisions and doing all the planning. Now just, what did you come over here for?
Now that's between Roy Luther and I. You gonna let me see him?
Now look, Kaiser, I told you he's sick.
I told you once, and I'll tell you again. I sure would hate to be the one to marry you, Mary Call. I think you're bound for a hard time in that department. You're enough to scare a man all standing all there sprout leg with your jaw stuck out ugly. How come you can't be sweet and nice like your sister?
Because sweet, nice girls get themselves run over by people like you. Did you come over here to see about marrying DeFola again, Kaiser?
I am to marry her, Mary Call.
Well, you're not gonna do it. I promised Roy Luther. A long time ago when he first took sick, I promised him that. And nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. What you got there in your sack? Balloons?
Ham. I brought Vola a couple of hams. Now listen, Mary Call, why don't you help me? I'd make Vola a good husband, and you Luther's a good in-law. You come to my house every Sunday for dinner, and he'd be welcomer than the flowers in May. And I could take Roy Luther for rides in my car. He's always said how he'd like to own a car. You know that.
Yes, and he never did.
Well, if he's my daddy-in-law, he would, sort of. We could take him for rides every Sunday after dinner. Don't you think Roy Luther would like that?
You make it sound nice, but I don't know.
Wouldn't you like that? How about you, Romy? Sure you would.
I really don't know, Kaiser. Car rides might scare Roy Luther. He's only ridden in a couple.
Well, I can fix that. We'll let him get used to it before we take rides in. I'll bring the car over here, and you can show it to Roy Luther. Maybe let him sit in it a little bit every day until he gets used to it. Then it won't scare him as much when we take him for rides in it.
He doesn't sit so well. Do you think maybe you can put some pillows in it so he can lie down?
Sure. It don't differ about that. Where he sits up, lies down, don't make no difference.
Has your car got a radio in it?
Sure does. But don't you go fiddling around with it.
Roy Luther likes radio music. It comforts him.
All right. Let him listen to the radio. I guess that'd be all right.
Well, I've been meaning to get one for his room, but I just haven't had the money to pay for it.
We could have a radio and put it on the table and listen to it.
Well, Kaiser Peace, good day to you.
Hello there, DeVola.
Mary Cole's talking about getting a radio.
Wouldn't that be fun?
DeBola just loves radio music, but she never gets to listen to any. How much did you say you reckon the little one would cost me?
Don't know, didn't say. No, I'll bring a radio tomorrow when I bring the car. How's that set with you, DeVola?
Just fine, real fun.
Now listen, Mary Call, I'm counting on your help now. I want you to speak to Roy Luther. You know how he'll listen to you. And tomorrow I'll bring by the car. You can let Roy Luther sit in it for a little bit every day. And that way, every Sunday when we eat dinner, we won't scare him as much when we take him for rides. How's that sound?
I suppose so, Kaiser. You and DeVola can do your visiting on the porch. Hey, Amadine. Romy, why don't you and Amadine do your sorting out here? Keep Kaiser and DeVola company.
Now listen, Mary Call. I come to see DeVola. What you sending out Romy and Amadine for?
It's just one of those necessary things, Kaiser. Necessary, that's all.
Sure was nice of you to let us have your car, Kaiser.
I think Roy Luther would find it a comfort, don't you?
Suppose so.
He's real sick, but a car would bring him comfort, I know.
Well, I hope so. I aim to get to Roy Luther and settle for things once and for all.
That would be fine.
Amadine, get busy here. You know what to pick just as much as me.
I'm busy. Kaiser Peace. He looks funny, don't he, Romy?
Gosh, she's sparking DeVola.
What's he sparking the bola for?
Because he wants to marry her and take care of her.
Will she go away?
Yeah. Just across that field over there. That's not so far.
I miss her.
Yeah.
Romy,
Yeah?
why doesn't Mary Cole get married? Then DeVola could stay and Mary Cole could yell at some other.
That's silly.
Mr. Connell's coming. He's finally turned in the road.
Mrs. Connell, too. Shoot! Now we're in trouble. Mrs. Connell's coming like she said.
Down the road, I can see them.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. Just sit tight, I'll think of something.
I had an idea the other day about what to do. Want to hear it?
Sure.
We should make some signs that says Mad Dog or Smallpox or something like that and hang them on the fence. That'd keep people away.
Well, it's too late for that now. Well, it was good to see you, Kaiser, and we thank you for coming. I'll look forward to seeing you and the radio and the car tomorrow.
Trying to get rid of me, Mary Call?
No, Kaiser, but you see company's coming. Mrs. Connell and Mr. Connell, and oh, we can't turn this into a party.
Good night, Kaiser. I think having a radio would be just fine. Thanks for it.
Well, I'll be going. I'm going to be gone for a few days, over to Asheville. When I get back, I need to speak to Roy Luther about me and Davola's.
Well, he's real sick, Kaiser. That's all I gotta say. Now listen, all of you, when Mrs. Connell and Mr. Connell comes, just sit tight. Just be quiet.
Can we tell her Luther's asleep?
Yes.
Will she believe us?
I don't know.
Should I make her some tea?
No. Yes, go ahead and do that.
Good day to you, Mary Call. We came to see your poor sick Paul, Roy Luther.
I'm much obliged to you, Mrs. Connell and Mr. Connell. Just come in and rest a bit. Roy Luther's asleep, and I hope you don't mind if I don't waken him. Since he's been sick, since the fever, he doesn't sleep much at all during the night, so he's got to sleep when he can during the day.
Oh, let the man have his rest. We should have come. I told Miss Connor we shouldn't have, but she wanted to come. Wanted to be out at the store for a while, you know.
Good evening to you, Mrs. Connell. Can I get you some tea?
Oh, dear, no. We can't stay but a minute. I just had to come on a mercy call. The Lord rewards those who have mercy on the poor sick. Mary Call, you have a crack in your ceiling.
Yes, it just came a few days ago. Roy Luther's been intending to fix it, but he's just been so busy.
Well, I must say I commend Roy Luther on keeping you children together the way he has without a bit of outside help. Why, such a sweet child. Looks like a little rag muffin. But I must say, pride goeth before a fall. Roy Luther will someday be glad for a little help.
Ow,
Just an observation. I had in mind to speak to Roy Luther.
well, he's really too poorly to visit at all, ma'am.
Are you sure you couldn't use any help? I do make a mighty good poultice if I say so myself.
Yes.
Your Ma Cosby Luther could have told you that.
Yes, ma'am, but I think he just needs to sleep.
Are you sure he's asleep? If he's just half awake, I would like to speak to him, just for a moment. A word of encouragement sometimes helps, you know.
No, ma'am, I won't be able to do that.
He best be going, Olive. Poor man needs his rest. He ain't gonna get it. Waking and starting up with every noise, you know?
That's my thinking, too.
Well, we best be going then. I'll leave this here basket of bread and a jar of my currant preserves. You tell Roy Luther we called and feel mighty put out not to have spoken with him.
Well, thank you. Oh, Mrs. Connell, thank you for bringing your good bread. It's a real treat to us, and we thank you for it.
I'll be going then. Goodbye.
Bye. I remember. And I remember I'm only 16, too. And I got the burden of this house and keeping the family together, and where is my share of the help? I don't see any of you guys killing yourselves helping me.
Well, I'm sorry you got the worry of me on your mind. I didn't ask anybody to fix it that way.
Yeah, just get the dish pan.
Get it yourself. I'm not your slave.
Go.
You're the hatefullest person alive, Mary Call. If Roy Luther was alive, you wouldn't treat us half as bad as you do now.
Go outside and get the dish pan.
Get it yourself.
Romy! You come in here! All right, go on.
Mary Call Luther. Are you in there? It's me. I've come to see Roy Luther. Well, where is this brood? Mary Call, Devola. Where is everybody? Roy Luther, is you in there? I want to talk to you about me and Devola. Roy Luther? Well, what'd you lock yourself in for? Well, I'll be. He ain't even in there. And he ain't asleep. I'll be. Where can he be?
Kaiser Peace, what are you doing here?
Second.
You can do your sitting somewhere else.
Hey, law, Mary Call. What you gonna get yourself into?
It's pollen.
What's it for?
Go ask the bees. Do I look sick to you?
Well, yes.
It's because I am, and if you were a gentleman, you'd get up and let me have that chair.
Sure. Say, Mary Call. While some of yins was gone, I took the freedom to try to get in to speak to Roy Luther, but his door was locked.
That's because I keep it that way.
Then I poked around a little bit and found out there cracked the door. He ain't in there.
He ain't? I mean, he isn't?
No, he ain't.
Well, I haven't jailed him. He's probably just out with Devola and Romy and Amadine. They'll be back directly.
I brought Devola a pig. It's out in the pickup. Y'all can slaughter it come the first cold wave. The main reason I'm hanging around is to speak to Roy Luther, because I know you ain't spoke to him like you said you would, so I'm gonna have to do it myself.
You're wasting your time. No telling when he's gonna be back.
I got time, plenty of time. It's you that's wasting your time trying to scare me off with them looks. Are you gonna let me see Roy Luther or not?
Like I said, there's no telling when he's gonna be back. He's clear in the head now.
Clear in the head, yeah.
I sure feel sick. I think I got stung. Where's Roy Luther?
He's back there. I somewhere up on. Romy hit me on the head, Mary Colin. It hurt.
Oh, shut up, Amadine. Just shut up. All day long, all you've done is blabber and bawl. Just be thankful I didn't really hit you. Hard, I mean. Next time I will.
Romy, if I were you, I'd watch out for your own head right now. Because right now, yours is in some pretty grave danger.
I brought you into pig, Devola. It's out in the truck. You can slaughter it come the first wave, cold wave.
Thank you, Kaiser. Come on, Ima. Let's go see the pig we got for Kaiser.
Kaiser, I'm meaning to tell you. Roy Luther's had his fill of sitting in your car. Think you better be taking it home tomorrow.
Nah, I'll leave it here. Devola can drive it. She knows how. I learned her last summer.
Well, it's out of gas.
Well, I'll be.
Well, it is.
Then I'll just have to get it filled.
Are you leaving now?
I think Devola should get her license to drive. And whenever she feels like going, I'll go into town and get it for her.
Well, I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. How about tomorrow morning? You can drop Romy and Amadine off at the general store. Just come early tomorrow morning and they'll be ready. Are you bringing the cow tomorrow or when?
I don't know. How does Devola like the pig?
Oh, she likes it fine. She loves animals. All kinds. Cows, horses, chickens. She's just a fool about cows, but she loves milk. We never have any, though.
Then I'll bring a cow tomorrow when I bring the car. I'd best get on my way. I expect I'll bring it all by tomorrow, Mary Call.
Right. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I sure feel queasy sick.
We're sorry, Mary Call.
Oh, shut up. Get away.
You real sick, Mary Cole?
She's got bee stings. I'm gonna make you a poultice. Best I ever made.
You're not gonna die or anything like that, are you?
No, I'm not gonna die or anything like that. I'd serve you right if I did, though. Why don't you take a bath? You stink. You too, Amadine. You're giving me a headache.
Come on over here, Mary Cole.
You're not hateful to us, not ever, Mary Call.
Not ever, not ever.
We're the ones that were hateful to you, and we're sorry. We know you're the boss, and we know that's the way it's gotta be. Tomorrow we'll be up at 5 o'clock to go wildcrafting. And you don't have to go with us. We want you to just stay here and rest and get well and think of some orders you want to give us.
And tomorrow we gotta sell what we got to Mr. Connell. Right now, I just really want to sleep.
Kaiser brought the cow, Mary Cole. It's a big one. Hereford. Say, how come you're not ready?
Oh, I'm too sick to go. I'm sore all over. But you still have to go. You got to take to Mr. Connell what we have with the price list, and he'll give you a good and fair price.
Well, good morning, Mary Call. You don't look like you're set for a ride this morning.
Nah. But you can take the Bola to get a license, and you can take Romy and Amadina to the general store.
Now listen, Mary Call. Just taking Devola in to get her license to drive. That's it. We're going right in, and we're coming right back out, except for dinner. By noon, if we had to wait or something like that, I want a nice dinner. Besides, I'm not going to let Devola stand outside on the sidewalk hungry. I'll take her in and I'll feed her too. But I sure didn't bargain on taking those little kids along.
Just drop Romy off. He can walk back. And Amadine doesn't eat much. She's never eaten in a cafe before. Just get her some ice cream. That'll shut her up. She likes ice cream. Besides, part of the Bola's job tonight, Amadine.
You gonna let me see Roy Luther this morning?
I would, Kaiser. I'd be glad to. He's not here. He's up on old Joshua root digging.
Root digging, huh?
Yes, root digging.
Thought you said he's cleared ahead.
He is. I have to tell him what to do. I told him to go up on old Joshua and dig some roots, and that's what he's doing.
Listen, Mary Call, between now and nightfall, I aim to speak to Roy Luther, even if I have to hog time. And if you get in my way, we're gonna see a mighty little trouble. Now, you best be thinking about that while I take the Bola into town to get her license. You might as well get it clear through your head that I aim to see Roy Luther, and there ain't nothing on this earth that's gonna stop me. Not even you, Mary Call. You understand that? That's to tell the Bola to get ready.
People's sins always catch up with them, Mary Call.
For corn's sake, Romy, I haven't committed any sin.
Well, what do you call burying Roy Luther up on old Sugar Boy the way you did?
It wasn't a sin. Burying him the way you wanted to would have been a sin. Romy, these hills are full of people who have been buried in private. And there isn't a thing wrong with it as long as there's been no foul play done. And shut up, I got something to think about.
About what?
How to get Kaiser peace. He's useful to us, but he's dangerous too. It seems like the Bola's never going to be anything but a child, Romy. Roy Luther worried about that. That's why he made me make the promise I did. I don't trust Kaiser Peace. He's all cheat and sneak.
I could take Roy Luther's gun and blow Kaiser's head off.
Romy, why are you always talking about hitting somebody in the head or blowing somebody's head off? Don't you know that's what earned people like us the reputation we got?
What reputation?
The reputation we've got for being ignorant and crazy. That's what people outside of here think of us. That we're ignorant and crazy and don't want to be any other way. You know how we're going to talk about that. How people think we're nuts because we're always wanting to fight somebody or blow somebody's head off. A gun never solved anything, Romy. Brains are what solve things. And what we've got to do is learn to use them and be smarter than other people. There is a way to deal with Kaiser Peace if I can just think of it.
Come on now, Romy. We're getting started. I'm just dropping you off at the store.
Now get along. And don't forget to give that to Mr. Connell. And when you get back here soon, and when I get my stomach together, we're going to go out in the mountains. I don't know how I'm going to do it. They hate me. Romy and Nivola and Amadine. And I hate myself. Knowing how I appear to them. Pinch-faced crone. Bony. Ragged. Too desperate for anything but nagging. When I'm up there on the mountain, I try to see all the beauty free for the looking and listening. The Lord is here, Roy Luther. I know you believe that, and I believe it too. But if it is so, where's my share of the help? I got Kaiser Peace threatening me when he gets back. Mrs. Connell snooping around when she comes. Maybe Romy's right, Roy Luther. Maybe he's right. Last night, sagging in his chair, he just sighed and said that the Lord has forgotten us. That this is a forgotten land and we're a forgotten people. Winter's coming soon. And I don't know how we're going to make it. But something within me stirs my spirits. And I think the Lord hasn't forgotten us. This land isn't forgotten. Those are just Romy's words, and he's just a child. This land isn't forgotten, and neither are we. It just seems like we are.
Just put your
because Roy Luther's alive, was it?
It was just as bad. You just don't remember.
Is Bola making some fudge?
No,
Why not?
because we can't afford the sugar. Things might get worse.
I thought they was getting better.
That's foolish.
Well, Kaiser Peas ain't been around.
Don't say ain't wrong, man.
Kaiser's still in the hospital with his broken leg and sore back.
Hope he stays there forever.
Well, I wouldn't count on that. As soon as he can get out of his bed, he'll be back over here again.
Shagging us.
He sure got bumped. He looked funny.
It wasn't funny to be hurt, so I'm Dean.
I know. The doctors will fix him.
Then he'll be back to sparking you to Bola. Oh, law, sparking you.
I'm not complaining.
Don't go taking his side, Rivola. As soon as he can get out of his bed, he'll be back over here again at us.
He's not a bad man.
You sure don't know what you're about. That ignorant old cuss just doesn't even...
Just because he's got a witch's hole in his chimney don't mean he's ignorant. If I was to marry him, I'd close up that witch's hole.
Well, you're not marrying him. I promised Roy Luther I would never let you marry him, and that's not gonna happen.
Mary Call, can the bull make us some raisin pudding?
No.
No fudge, no raisin pudding, nothing.
Well, nothing's all we got. So quit twisting your face and get at your geography lesson.
You're sure ugly.
Yeah, well, some people are handsome and some are smart.
I don't even think your hair's pretty anymore.
I never said it was. I've
Mary
just been-
Call. There's someone stopping up near the clearing.
Just the postman, maybe.
Who? Who'd come out here in this slush to see us?
It's a lady, all dressed up funny. Boots and a shawl and a big walking stick.
Never seen her before. Not even in town.
Is she the county lady?
Don't know. Maybe. You listen, just be quiet. Don't say anything, I'm Dean. You guys just be quiet. I'll handle everything.
Oh, Luther, are you there? You're going to keys. Now's the picture. And I ain't there to talk with you.
I'm Mary Call Luther.
And I'm going to Peas, and you can tell your pa I ain't asleep.
Well, he's asleep, man.
Asleep at this time of day? What's the matter with him?
He's sick.
He's sick.
We don't know what happened to him. He's had a bad fall last summer, and since then he hasn't been able to sleep at night, so we let him sleep when he can during the day.
Well, there's some work over at Kaiser Pea's place that needs to be done. It's a common spring, and I thought Roy Luther could do it. This place sure looks seedy. In fact, downright disgraceful. Does Kaiser know part of your roof caved in?
Well, it just happened not too long ago. It wouldn't make any difference to him if he did, though. Kaiser doesn't own this place anymore.
What do you mean he doesn't own this place anymore?
I mean, he doesn't own this place anymore. He signed it over to us months ago. This and 20 acres of land.
Kaiser's coming home. He must be better. How's his jaw? Can he walk?
His jaw's wide shut and he has a little trouble getting around.
Well, that's fine.
What do you mean he signed this place over to you months ago? Roy Luther paying for it?
No, not exactly. Not in money. Well, Kaiser was awful sick. Maybe you don't know about that. Well, anyway, he was. And we went and found him and saved his life. And then he signed a paper giving us this house and 20 acres of land.
The end has come to Kaiser's treatment, the fool. And Roy Luther the fool for not knowing you need a county seal on the land deed. You can tell him that. Let me see the paper he signed.
Well, me in the cigar box.
I saw it all right, man. I'll show it to you.
Worthless. Roy Luther doesn't have the sense to pound sand out of it. Oh, if he can't see that, I want to see him. Go wake him up and tell him to come out here. Him and me's got a few things to talk about.
Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, but that won't be possible. Well, Roy Luther's awful sick, and I promised I wouldn't wake him for anything.
No, I don't want my brother's leftovers. I don't trust him. I'd sell this land if I could, but since I can't, I want to start afresh. You tell Roy Luther I said I want you to vacate. 2 weeks, that's all I'll give you to do it in. That's fair. It's the best I can do. It's getting warmer all the time. 2 weeks, you tell Roy Luther I said that. You tell him I want to see him.
You bringing Kaiser home today?
No, I've changed my mind about that. I don't care if he never gets home.
Did you hear what she said?
We gotta leave.
Can she make us leave?
Sure she can. Kaiser fooled us. I knew it. He didn't even own the land.
She was a funny lady. I never saw a lady with blue hair before.
Where are we gonna vacate to?
Mary Call, where are we gonna vacate to?
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do.
What if we have another blizzard?
Ain't it too warm for that?
I heard the radio say that the wind could come from the north.
We'd probably all perish. The greedy old treasoner. He knew when he signed that paper it was worthless. Oh, that greedy old treasoner.
He's not a greedy old treasoner. I think he's nice.
He is, Davola. And if you had the loyalty to me and Roy Luther that you're supposed to have, you'd see that too. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Can you ask someone?
No.
We got to live somewhere.
Don't worry, Amadine. Mary Cole will think of something. I'll get some tea to warm us up.
Maybe Goldie will forget.
Not likely. She'd bodily set us out in the cold when the 2 weeks were up. And then she'd see that Roy Luther was gone, and then she'd go flying into town to the county people, and then they'll come around, they'll take us away.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. Yes, I do know.
What are you doing?
See for yourself.
You said yourself we're gonna never settle anything. But if you didn't mean it, go ahead. Let them lock you up for being crazy. I don't care. We'll get along all right without you. The county people will come and get us and take care of us. Go on into town and blow Kaiser's head off. He deserves it. I don't say he doesn't. But you just remember, if you do. Mary called Luther, if you do, I'll never believe another word you say.
All right. I'll think of something.
I'll think of something, too. There's gotta be another way. Suppose I go into town and talk to Kaiser for myself, man to man.
You?
I'm nearly grown. I could talk to him, man to man.
What about, for corn's sake?
To get him to pay his sister for the house. Make good the paper he signed.
You think you can do that, huh? You think you can change his mind just like that?
Well, it doesn't take much to you. And besides, I was gonna...
You were gonna what?
I was gonna beg him. I thought if I begged him, it'd make things right.
Beg Kaiser peace. Better till we go live in a hole in the ground. Better we live in a cave than to beg Kaiser peace. We're not begging anything from anybody. You just remember that. Charity is one of the worst things there is. It does terrible things to people.
What things?
It demeans people.
What's that mean?
When you demean somebody, you make them smaller than they are. And they have to be humble and toady to you. On my highest word of honor, I promised Roy Luther never to let that happen. So you can just forget about begging anything from anybody.
Well, I thought it was a good idea.
Well, Mary Cole, where are we gonna vacate to?
I don't know. I can't think about it now. Why don't you make us some supper? Something real special so that we can all feel good. Maybe that'll make me think of something.
How's about some liver mush and fried cabbage?
Fine.
And cranberry beans. I was saving them.
Fine.
And some raisin pudding, Mary Cole?
And some raisin pudding.
Maybe Goldie will forget.
I doubt it.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Not ready for some supper? I can only think of one idea.
What's that?
I'll marry Kaiser Peace myself.
I always thought you was joking about that.
Not joking. 16 years or not, I'll do it. Kaiser's simple. I can persuade him.
Yeah, then where'll you be? You can't even stand to look at him.
It's coming clear. Right after the ceremony, performed wherever by whatever outlaw, I'll assert myself to my wife's rights.
Your wife's rights?
Yes, I'll make Kaiser pay Goldie for the money he owes her for the Luther house. And then I'll put the deed into Bola's name, so she'll always be taken care of. And then I'll bid Kaiser farewell. And then in the peace God intended for us all, we Luthers will live in our part of the valley, and he can live in his.
Think he'd stand for that?
Well, if he did, I'd plant a dense row of trees so I'd never have to look at his face again, nor the witch's keyhole in his chimney.
You're crazy in the head. You're sure crazy.
Things is ready now.
Now hush, Roman. It's the only way.
You ain't here to see me, are you? Because as you can see, I ain't over there, I'm over here.
Oh, yes, sir. I came to visit Kaiser Peace at the hospital.
Kaiser Peace. Heard about his accident. Got him a broken jaw, some broken legs.
Yes, he was hit by a truck.
That's right, some weeks ago. Yeah, he should be mending. He's hardy and young enough to be mending quickly.
I got business with him.
How's your paw? How'd he get through the winter?
Just fine.
You're looking kind of pale, Mary Call. Hope you ain't ailing.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Well, how'd you make out in that blizzard? That was a bad one.
Just fine, considering.
Oh?
Yes, part of the roof caved in, but we moved Romy into another room, so everything was fine. And we had enough in stores thanks to the medicine money.
Well, that's good. I was just talking to the pharmacist today. There's always need for them leaves and roots you kids bring in. Still counting on you to bring those in for me.
The only thing is, there's just not much to do about it in the winters.
No, but I read in the paper that they're paying people to make Christmas roping starting in November, maybe next year.
Christmas roping? Like out of balsam and hemlock?
That's right. That way, maybe next year when winter comes along, you can make you some money until spring or thereabouts.
Well, I'd sure like to hear more about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can find that paper telling about it, and next time you come along, we can talk about it.
Well, thank you, sir. Well, I better go to visit Kaiser.
Well, there's no hurry. It's almost spring now. Yep, it's coming spring. To tell you the truth, I'll be happy. Well, take care of yourself. And you might want to try a little spring tonic. You're looking peaked. Well, give 'em over to Roy Luther now.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
I will.
Well, Mary Carl Luther. Did you come to my sister?
No, I came by myself. Is it all right if I have this chair?
Sure, sit down.
Thank you.
This is the closest I ever come to being in jail, Mary Carl. I don't like it.
Well, you're looking kind of thin, but it's kind of becoming.
I can't eat. I have to suck my meals to his jaw water, shut. I'm sick and nobody cares. Did you see my sister?
No. Well, yes, actually I did. But she's living in your house now.
I wish she'd come after me and get me. I just ain't well enough to fend for myself.
You look like you better lie down. You are going to. Would you like for me to get a glass of water for you?
Oh, I'm just lying here. I don't want to be lying here. I'm sick and nobody cares. If she ain't going to come up here, look, my sister ain't going to come up here and do what she's going to do. Well, she'd go back home.
Well, you certainly don't look like you're in any position to go anywhere. It's awful cold out there, Kaiser. There's mud and slush and no electricity, at least at our place. Maybe you ought to phone your sister and ask her why she hasn't come after you and picked you up.
I don't have a phone, but I'm gonna go get one now. Anyways, I've changed my mind about wanting my sister to do anything for me. How's the Vola?
She's fine.
The cow giving you plenty of milk?
Oh, yes.
How's the pig?
Just fine.
Slaughtered him yet?
No,
How's Roy Luther?
he's fine.
Still quite ahead?
A little, but I reckon he'll be just fine by spring.
I need to get out of here. But I can't go until I got somebody to take care of me until I get well enough to do for myself. Goldie, I'm thinking she's mad at me for some piddle-diddle thing. She's always been so touchy. If she ain't gonna come up here and do what I told her to come up here and do, I wish she'd go back home to Georgia. She ain't doing me a one bit of good, sitting down at my house, pawing through my personal stuff and eating up my victuals. You say you seen her, Mary Call?
Yes, she came over after the spring thaw.
What'd she have to say?
I don't know. She talked to Roy Luther.
About what?
I don't know. I'm not a door crack listener.
She probably told him how crooked I was and how much I beat her out of. She's always had a good hand at packing off her wrongdoings onto other people.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so. She's been doing it all her life. And of course, her being a woman, everybody thinks she's weak, and they take her side against me.
She didn't look so weak to me. Well, I didn't take her side against you, and I'm sure Roy Luther didn't either.
I need to get out of this place. It's killing my nerves. But I got nowhere to go. Nobody take care of me until I get well enough. Man, my sister's doing a bad job.
Kaiser, how would you like to get married?
What was that you said, Mary Call? I don't think I heard you right.
Kaiser, how would you like to get married?
Well, I'd like that. I'd be good to her, Mary Call. I'd be good to all yous. You could come up and have dinner with me and Devola every Sunday. When can it happen?
Kaiser.
I'll bring you a pig. Maybe two. And I'll fix the roof to your place. Last time I was over there, it was in mighty bad shape. And I'm gonna buy you a refrigerator. A great big one. I've been meaning to do that anyway. Ain't no sense in a man having no refrigerator this day and time.
Kaiser.
And I'll give Roy Luther some of my land. I got plenty of it. Hey, law, I reckon I do. I must own 1,000 acres. That's a heap of land. And one man don't need it all. Even if he was to, say, have a son or two, one man just don't need it all. And me and Devola will need, offhand, I can't say. That'll depend. But you tell Roy Luther I aim to give him some land. You also tell Roy Luther that I said that.
Kaiser,
What? Well, what?
I wasn't talking about you marrying Debola. You know I can't let that happen. Well, I thought maybe you'd like to marry me.
You?
Yes. I know there's a big difference in our ages and all. I mean, you're almost 40 and I'm...
Almost 40? I'm almost 40? Says who?
I don't know, somebody. But it doesn't make any difference. I don't care how old you are. I love you and I want to marry you.
I'm 30.
You're 30 then. All right, it doesn't make any difference. I love you and I want to marry you, Kaiser.
You love me?
Am I? Well, yes, I do. I do love you.
And you want to marry me?
Well, I didn't say I wanted to. Well, yes, I do want to. I love you and I want to marry you.
Oh, Mary Call.
What?
You don't love me. You ain't got no more use than you do a clod of dirt.
Yes, I do love you. And why do you think I don't have any use for you? Well, I've got lots of use for you. Well, listen, Kaiser. When somebody tells you that they love you, you're not supposed to...
Well, Mary Call, you act like I've insulted you.
You have insulted me. You've as much as called me a liar, and I didn't come here all the way from Trail Valley to be insulted. You're right about one thing. I haven't got as much use for you as a clod of dirt.
Now, Mary Call.
Not half as much. With your rotten teeth and your witch's keyhole in your chimney. Ooh, you make me so mad.
Mary Call, just wait a minute.
I haven't got a minute. Not anymore.
Now, Mary Call, you just get right back.
sick. And that greedy old treason didn't help much. Where are we gonna live? Gotta vacate. You don't have enough money to buy the house, and there isn't any way around here to live. Maybe we could live in a cave. Yes, we'll live in a cave. We're not the first ones to do it. My people have been doing it since the beginning of time, and enjoying it too. Yes, we'll be troglodytes. That's the word. Miss Brother taught it to me. Troglodytes. That's a fine one. But in a minute, we'll find a nice one, and we'll make it real livable. We'll get some wallpaper from Mr. Connell, and if we don't have enough money to buy some linoleum, then we'll get the one we got off the floor. But we got money in the money can. I'll find one with 2 parts. You could live in front and sleep in the back. Yes. You hear that roar, Luther? We're gonna live in a cave. Live in a cave. And then come spring, we'll start making the money again with our roots and herbs. And we'll have lots because spring's the best time for roots and herbers. And then we can build a house. We'll start building a house with the wildcraft money. We'll have a yellow kitchen, and some hot water. That's my idea. It's my idea, Roy Luther. I'll just have to make it work. I'll tell Romy and Devola and Amadine, and we'll just have to make it work. Well, I found this way. I start to feel sick. Pastor Peace, I see you made it here to Trail Valley with your own power.
Yes, Mary Call. I took a taxi direct here from town. Me and DeVoe have been sitting and talking.
You look poorly, Mary Call.
Man, you look silly. Your hair down. Don't you usually wear it up?
Now, Mary Call, she's a spitting image of her ma, all Cosby Luther. She's as pretty as a picture with her hair down.
I haven't noticed.
Now, come on, take off your coat and your boots. Come sit with me and Kaiser.
Right. What were you talking about?
Kaiser's paid his sister for the house and the 20 acres of land he gave us the night we saved his life. So that part's all straight.
It's all straight. I'm going to pay my sister off tomorrow. I'll go down to the courthouse while I'm at it. Put the deed in DeVola's name. I'd put it in yours, Mary Call, but you're still a minor.
And Kaiser and I are going to get married. Don't look so tough, Mary Cole. It makes you ugly.
Married? No, you can't do that. I promise Roy Luther can never get married. Devola, I found us a place to live in, and we're gonna move tomorrow. We're gonna be troglodytes and live in a cave. He's dead, Devola.
Sounds like Roy Luther put off a lot on her that don't belong.
No, he didn't. He didn't put anything off of me that didn't belong. You know, I was tough and strong and could handle anything he gave to me. Are you gonna fix supper, Devola?
I'll get her some tea and get her to bed.
No, I don't want tea. I don't want bed.
Oh, yeah, you do, Mary Call. It's best you be going now.
No, I don't want... Romy, I think the time has come for me to tell you that Roy Luther and I erred a little in our judgment of Ebola.
You mean about her being cloudy-headed?
Of course. Roy Luther didn't know she was going to change. That's why he made me make the promise I did. You see how she is now.
Yeah, she's kind of grown up.
If I went to the judge and told him that I thought she was cloudy-headed, he'd think I was.
Yeah, she knows a lot of things.
Yeah, just not book-learning things.
She's always singing and so happy. Hear her now.
That's because she's getting ready for the wedding. Well, people will probably start coming soon. We should go outside. Straighten your party dress on, Dean.
Well, Mary Collins there. Isn't this a nice day for a wedding? Your sister getting married, don't you think it's a flood to be about it? Little Miss Brown.
Monday, probably.
Why, who's this year?
Fine day for work. All wish you both guys the best of luck. Good and better. Maybe our next young.
That is a lovely hat, Miss Collins.
Oh, thank you.
But look, it's Kaiser Pease. He's all dandied up.
My, he looks good.
Best he's ever looked. Better than for the accidents.
Broken jaw's the best thing that ever happened to that man. They had his teeth fixed. He's almost handsome.
Right. He's gonna make the Vola a fine husband.
Hey, Carl, I'm here.
I can see that, and it's just about time.
Run the preacher.
Good day to you, preacher.
It's gonna be a pleasure making this wedding.
I'll call Davola. Dean, go get Davola. Got some more flower roses for you. Romy and I made it special for you.
Thank you, Mary Call. It's real nice.
Do we have some music here?
I brought my harmonica. Now come to play.
Let's begin then.
By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Congratulations. Everybody, meet the new Mr. and Mrs. Kaiser Peace.
I think this all calls for a celebration, so grab your partner and let's have a sip.
We sure can. I had a 3-layer cake, special made with ice cream for all to enjoy.
Come on now.
This is sure special. I got a bunch of icing on mine.
It's real good. Can I have some more?
Sure you can, but folks don't go eating wedding cake all at once.
Here you are, Amadine. Wrapped up some cake for you to take home. So you can sleep on a piece of wedding cake.
What for?
Sleep on a piece of wedding cake and you have pretty dreams.
You dream of the beau, but one you're gonna have someday. You gonna sleep on a piece of wedding cake, Mary Cole?
Maybe. Who you dream about?
Well, Mary Cole, I think I'll be going now. I look forward to seeing you two when you come back to school.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Sure is a nice wedding, Mary Cole. All these days, you'll be sparking around here, I guess.
Oh, I'll be too busy for that.
Oh, I think you'll find time. Goodbye now.
Bye. Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Tyler, before you go.
Yes?
Well, I was wondering if you could tell me, what are folks thinking about us Luthers?
What do you mean, huh?
Well, now that everyone knows that Roy Luther's dead.
Well, that's that. If you're doing any worrying about what people's thinking, you're wasting your time. Folks is friendly and care for you, Luthers. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Mr. Connell.
Bye now.
Bye.
There you are, Mary Cole. Tomorrow I want you and Rummy to go down to my business. Pick yourselves up a couple of hams and... Here you go.
What's this?
Take it, take it. Me being your brother-in-law now, I guess I have the right to help you, Mary Cole.
Kaiser, you didn't marry all of us Luthers, just Ebola.
Now, Mary Cole, I'm your brother-in-law. You just might as well accept it.
Well, you just take care of the bola. We'll be just fine. Wildcraft.
Wildcraft. Now, Mary Cole, you're going to go up there and you're going to stumble around and get yourselves killed. It ain't right.
It is right, Kaiser. It's the rightest thing that ever happened to me.
Mary Cole, I ain't never seen anybody like you. I'll be getting the bowl and we'll be on our way. Oh, one more thing, Mary Cole.
Yeah?
I had the business of Roy Luther taken care of. I talked to the county people. They said you can leave him up on Sugar Boy where he belongs.
Thank you, Kaiser. It's where he wanted to be.
You have a good one, Mary Cole.
Too.
What you doing, Mary Cole?
Thinking.
What are we gonna do now?
Well, first we gotta clean up a bit. But I'm thinking long thoughts. About this house and this land. And someday we'll build a barn with the wildcraft money. But we gotta work hard. Things is easier for us now, but we still gotta work.
Will there be enough for us?
Oh, there'll be plenty. Remember, we were always careful to reseed. Remember Cosby Luther telling us that. Always reseed or the medicine plants will die out. Remember how we did that?
Yeah, I remember.
And we'll be able to pick trout lilies and trillium and lady slippers and bloodroot. And I saw some balm of Gilead trees growing 60 to 100 feet high.
Bammy Gilead! Bammy Gilead!
Balm of Gilead.
Bammy Gilead! I like to say it.
You sure don't listen, Amadine.
We're gonna have a lot of work to do with all our harvesting. There's skunk cabbage growing across the creek. Mr. Connell said the roots and root sticks of this is worth money.
Yes. And we'll get a new price list and some new books, and we'll be able to find lots more. You know where the boneset herbs are and the red clover flowers? Oh, there's plenty out there. We'll have to work hard, but it's good work. On the land, in the earth. The traveler was right, Romy.
What traveler?
Do you remember when the traveler came down last spring?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
He said something I'll never forget. This is a fair land. The fairest I've ever seen. The land where the lilies bloom. I never forgot that.
We're gonna have the house fixed and a new barn. It's a fair land, all right. Mary Call,
Yes?
it's gonna be fine now, ain't it?
It's gonna be fine, Romy. Real fine. And Romy Luther, how many times do I have to tell you? Don't say ain't, say isn't.